This is how my day would normally start. Get up, have a shower, then have some breakfast, maybe go to work or catch up with some mates. But not today.
Because we're in lockdown. Again.
Being in lockdown can certainly affect your mental health, but it can also impact on your physical well-being. So how can we survive lockdown without having a complete meltdown? Today, I set out to answer that very question. I start by doing a little bit of research. Whilst it's not a natural thing for humans to live in isolation or confinement, it certainly can be done. I mean, look at the astronauts.
So I found a really interesting resource actually on the NASA website where some astronauts who would be no stranger to isolation have kind of given some overall tips on how they have learned to cope with it. And I guess one of the keys that's coming out of this is how important it is to keep a routine, which I mean, I guess if they can keep some sense of normality in outer space, we can certainly do it here on Earth, but also to keep yourself stimulated and to be adaptable to new ways of doing things. I also found a kind of cool YouTube video by CGP Grey, which I'll put the link in the description below, but it actually compares your house to a spaceship and how you can set it up as a vessel to keep some normality. So certainly food for thought, but I guess the tough part is now going to be putting some of these concepts into play.
So taking concepts from both the NASA site and the Spaceship U video, I'm going to start planning my day. With my little helper on the side, of course. Now, it just so happens today is a Saturday, so I wouldn't normally be going to work, but I certainly wouldn't be staying in the house all day either. When I think about it, there are 4 things I would typically do on a weekend. Do some exercise, socialise, rest, catch up on some work or projects. Most Saturday mornings, I would go out for coffee. I mean, who doesn't love a caffeine hit? But it's also about the social interaction. Thankfully, we have a coffee machine at home, so I'm going to change it around a bit. And I'm going to have coffee in the front yard.
Oh, there's someone. Hi. They're gone.
Next is exercise. Now this is a little harder, but you know, you've got to be resourceful. Now luckily we have a little courtyard out the back where I can do my exercise this morning. Remember, if you don't have weights, just be creative. Now a weekend wouldn't be a weekend if I didn't do some chores. If you can find a job that you've been putting off for ages, this is actually a really good way to use your time while you're at home. And now it's time for a little bit of rest.
For me, quite honestly, the hardest thing about lockdown, in fact the hardest thing about this entire pandemic has been the separation from family. I grew up in Sydney, all my family still live in New South Wales. We have not been able to see each other much over the last year for obvious reasons with the borders being closed.
I think there's been an inbuilt comfort that we didn't realise we had, knowing we could always go anywhere in the country if we needed to, or get to you in another state if we needed to. And it's been actually a lot more isolating than I thought it would be, a lot more difficult than I thought it would, having that cut off to you. I think I really realised it when I was in hospital. To know you couldn't even get up was even harder.
I miss you guys so much, and I think that's the thing for me. If I could change one thing, all the things you miss, you know, the inconvenience of not being able to leave the house, that's one thing. But yeah, just to feel so separate from your loved ones and family. I found it interesting, you know, being a GP, and people often come in and talk for mental health advice, but you know, outside the consulting room, this has affected everyone. This has affected us, this has affected me, and we're all going through it every day, just navigating it step by step, really,
Yeah.
with no...
It's just so far-reaching, and you don't realise how far-reaching it is.
Yeah. Well, I love you all very much. We miss you very much, but yeah, let's hope.
When those borders open,
Yeah.
looking forward to someone has to get off a plane.
Send my love to
you
Dad
too,
as well.
darling.
We'll speak soon.
Absolutely. Love
Bye.
you to bits, sweetie. Bye.
I found lots of information on the internet about how to cope with isolation and lockdown. And as a GP, I can certainly give you tips on how to look after yourself mentally. But ultimately, I think we just need to take things day by day and work together as a community. Everybody's journey is unique. The past 18 months have been so weird, but in a strange way, I think it's taught me to reevaluate what's really important in my life. Family, relationships, friendships. So the big challenge for me perhaps is, how can I never take for granted all the beautiful things I have in my life? Yeah, I love to go out for pizza, but hey, at the end of the day, sometimes staying home is pretty cool too.
Guys, don't forget, if anything in this video has been triggering for you and you feel you need to talk to somebody, then please know you can always call Lifeline 24 hours a day on 131114. If you're watching this video from overseas, I'll post a link in the description below to a whole lot of phone numbers depending on where you're watching from.